What up, guys? Welcome to the podcast number 9 of our Indie Corner. Okay, and like always, we have Schmuckman with us. What up,
Hey,
Schmuckman? He had a hard day. You can see it by his face. Poor Schmucky. um,
it's been a day. Let's just.
well, it's Monday, so Mondays are always like that, unfortunately. Well, at least for me.
You're not wrong.
But yeah, this time we have the studio for with a project called A Horde Too Many. First of all, thank you so much for accepting our invite, guys.
Hey, what up?
Thank you.
Much
It's great to be
appreciated.
here, and it was unfortunate that we had to reschedule from last week. We might have been able to get Karina here, but this week it's just the three of us. But 3 out of 4, that's better than
Yeah, it was
no.
unfortunate because well, I was with the flu, and today
That's-
I had a sneeze attack, and I was like, oh my god, no, please no.
I've been having those all day. Yeah.
Oh my god, it's so bad. It's terrible. It's those sneezes, like 3 in a row, and then your head starts hurting because of the sneeze. Okay, let's not talk about that.
You
But
won't make me sneeze now.
yeah,
Come
don't,
on.
don't. um, so yeah, let's talk a little bit about the studio itself first. So how many are you guys on the studio? How have you guys met? Tell me a little bit of the background story of the studio itself.
So starting off easy, it's not really that easy because it's actually two studios, two different companies.
Mm-hmm.
And we've met. So starting on the companies, one of them is me and Carolina.
Okay.
She's the artist on A Horde Too Many, and we started the company in 2018. And we're a software development company, and we also do design and multimedia. And we met ages ago because we've always lived in the same town. We've gone to school together for I don't know how long. We've known each other for over 12 years. So yeah, we go way back. And then
That's a lot.
it is a lot. It is a lot. So and we met Gonzalo and Dinesh on an entrepreneurship, not a program. It was kind of a competition as well, which we happened to win, and they won as well. And we got to know each other's projects, and we got to know how each other worked
Hey,
in
congrats.
a way. And so me and Carolina approached them with, look, what we're doing this game. Would you like to join in? We really need help. It was just the two of us.
They want to go to Comic Con.
Yeah, do you want to go to Comic Con without paying a ticket? You know, we said yes.
Okay.
So yeah, that's how we met. We met through an entrepreneurship program, and we're all from the same hometown, anyways.
Mhm.
So we kind of already knew each other just by seeing each other. Not really know each other, but and yeah, we went to the same college as well. You can call them colleges, right? I think university.
Okay.
And so yeah, so your turn. What?
Yeah, and me and Ines are the other company. It's called 93 Bits.
I didn't even say the name of my company.
What's your company?
What's your company name?
So my company is Digitality Studios. Okay.
Okay.
And yeah, basically we are programmers. We went to university to take software engineering, not only software, but computer engineering in general.
Mhm.
But then we took a master degree in game development.
Okay.
So yeah, we started to make little projects, make some games in our master degree. We opened the company to develop software, websites, and games too. And as Luis said, we met.
I think both companies noticed each other because our companies are very similar, and they were like, "Oh, we kind of do the same thing." but they are more. You guys are more focused in design, and we are more focused in programming,
Okay.
and we kind of complement each other.
So
Yeah.
me and Carolina are both on design degrees. So I did multimedia design. Carolina did package design, or I think it's called industrial design. But then she went on into illustration. So yeah, we always had the graphical part of it, the design part of the game settled between the two of us. But then the programming was I was doing it, and I'm completely self-taught and completely horrible at it. I can get from point A to point B. I can get it to do whatever I want, but I'm tinkering with the code. I like to reverse engineer code. That's why I learned it. But yeah, we really needed some actual programmers to work on the game. So yeah, it was really fortunate that we got to meet them, and that they liked the project enough to get on board. And here we are.
So I'm pretty bad at coding, so I feel you. I know. So if you miss something like a dot on your line, all your project is gone. So no, that's not for me. I tried.
It's not that hard.
You say that because you're a programmer.
Yeah.
See?
I don't know how to draw a human body, so for me, drawing a human body is too hard.
I wouldn't say it's hard to do. I would say it's hard to do efficiently. And in a way that's not going to give you nightmares later on when you have to change things, which is what they went through when they looked at my code. They were like, okay, we really need to do this.
Yeah, there was a time that we had two different languages
Yeah.
in our project, and we were like, no, we have to fix this.
So because
It's so confusing.
we started prototyping the game back in, I think it was 2016, and I was starting with it was Unity script or JavaScript at the time. And so, because the game went through such a long period of just trial and error, we came up to a point where there was JavaScript in it, there was C# in it, and then there was 2014 Unity version, which was the engine that it was being built on. Then we got to a point where that was not enough for rendering or for whatever we wanted to do next. So yeah, we actually had to upgrade the graphical engine quite recently, actually, which was pretty much what marked the huge development and the evolution of the way the game looks and plays right now.
Okay. So, just for reference, I was at school, actually doing the same course that you guys did, and my teacher asked us to do a Christmas tree with lights. No, I couldn't do anything working. No. So I'm a complete zero on that subject.
Not much better at it myself.
Yeah. But yeah, we already covered the studio part. So there's two studios that complement each other very, very well. You were all on Lisbon Games Week, right?
Right.
So for the four of you. It was your first gaming convention showing your project, or not really?
No.
Go ahead.
So we went to, as I said, Luis Luis and Carolina came to us and said, "You want to go to Comic Con?" And yeah, we said yes. So our first, mine and Inês, first not gaming convention, because Comic Con is not
As
really
developers, yes.
it's not really focused on games. But yeah, they have a tent with almost
Literally
15.
It was 2018,
2017. No,
I think it was 2017.
2017. Yeah.
Okay.
2017.
Okay.
Because it was
Portugal.
Was it prior to us? No, I think
No,
it was 2018. It was 2018.
that was right.
The company was already a thing.
Yeah,
We were all-
2018. So yeah, that was our first game
Yeah, but
here in Portugal. Then we went to IndieX, Excel Games World in Lisbon too.
I was there. I don't know if I saw you. Hold on.
Yeah, there were many games. There were like 50 or 60 games.
52
So
indie games.
It's a lot
So-
of games.
52 indie games.
I'm not a lot of space.
it would be hard to see all of them. So
Well, and since it was a dark zone, it was super like
Yeah.
without
Yes.
any sort of source of light. So, come on.
Yeah, we noticed quite a bit of difference in the engagement that we had with our players between one event and the other,
Mhm.
and particularly because of that, it was really hard to either stand out or keep someone playing
Mhm.
our game
Yeah.
for a long time
the
when
space
they
was-
really wanted to watch, like, check out every single game. Which is, if you're there, you want to do
Yeah,
that.
because we have the space to
yes,
I
the
would
space
say
We had
would
less
be-
than a table.
less than this table. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
because we were sharing the table with another project. And
Oh, okay.
Yeah. so we had one chair for someone to sit on, and everyone else had to stand.
Sometimes it's
Sometimes we were sharing the chairs over the.
We would steal the
So,
chair
yeah.
from our.
They weren't looking, they would take it. We weren't looking, they would take it back. So, yeah. But before these events and before Comic Con, me and Carolina had already done. I think it was the first edition, of something that was called the Indie Dome back then, which was at Lisbon Games Week. And we also had a great opportunity in 2017, so it was the year before you guys jumped up, to go and showcase the game in Berlin.
Okay.
We were picked by what was it called? Indie. There's always Indie Prize. Indie Prize is a part of it, but it was I can recall the full name now.
Mhm.
So Indie Prize selected our game, like from an international selection of games in development.
That's
So
awesome.
we got in the top 100, and yeah, we got to go there to Berlin. We got to showcase the game there for I think it was 4 days, and it was amazing. It was mostly game dev related people going around. Not a lot of. It wasn't really for consumer. It was more for game dev and industry to connect and to evaluate each other, to know what's being done, what's being made. So we've actually got pretty great stories there, and I always like to delve on that. That was this one particular person struck me as surprising, because we were just me and Carolina went there, just 2 of us, so we were kind of taking turns. Now you're gonna be with the stand, and the other one's gonna be looking around and connecting and getting to know each other, other devs. And while I was there, this really nice kind of how do I say this without being rude? He wasn't the youngest of persons in there.
Okay.
Really nice lady. Looked at our game. I was not the kind of person you're not expecting to sit down for a game with zombies and that kind of thing. Because I just had the trailer going. So she sees the game. She looks at me. She's like, "I love to look at the game. Can I play it?" I'm like, "Oh well, yeah, sure. Go ahead, play it. Go right ahead." So she sits down. She starts playing it. She's in love with the game. She didn't play it for long because she was struggling for time. And I was like, "Okay, so thank you so much for playing our game." She's like, "Oh, you have no idea who I am, do you?" I'm sorry if I should. She's like, "Yeah, so my name is Debbie. I'm the CEO of Team 17. We made worms. We made that kind of
Oh, wow.
game."
Okay.
I'm sorry. It's really nice to meet you. We had a nice conversation back then, and we've actually kept in touch, not directly with her, but with Team 17 and other contacts that we made at that event. But it's amazing to have someone in the industry of that caliber, I guess you can say that. Look at your game, play your game, and say, "I like the game." And it's a huge ego boost, and it gets you somewhere. As far as development and going through the struggles of development, it really gets you somewhere. So we've got a few of those. That was one that I should have known, I guess. So I kind of messed up on that one, but it was only.
She was testing you. She was testing you.
And I failed horribly. I guess I wasn't nervous because I didn't know who she was.
Like the game.
Yeah,
But yeah, already CEOs do. We know.
actually, I have no idea if I met any more. I probably didn't.
Homework, you should.
I should have.
But at least she liked the game, so
She did like the game. Yeah.
that's
That's
a
a
plus.
huge plus.
It's huge.
That's a huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a
It
win.
was amazing. It was a really great event. But yeah, after that, development of the game has always been not a struggle as in our motivation, but a struggle to fit into just surviving, because we're trying to build the game. It's always been in our free time. It's never been full time. We've never had the financial support behind us that would allow us to just be game developers, at least not just on Horde. So even back then, before we even had a company formed up, me and Karina were always in the struggle of how do we do this? How do we find more people? How are we gonna finish the project? So all of this progress ever since 2016, ever since that event, everything that happened in between is just been getting us closer and closer to where we are right now. That we actually have something that we believe is very close to what the final game is going to be. So all of these little stories, all of these little steps that we've been taking are really just a part of the development of Horde Too Many at this point. It's way beyond the small passion project that began back in 2016.
Yeah. Well, that was one of our questions. If you guys have any source of income other than just, I mean, you guys are working this on your free time, like you told us, right?
Yes.
So it's not a full-time project. It's
Not yet, no. So we are two different companies. Also because of that, we haven't merged yet because we have the financial needs, and we're both kind of we're both taking services for other companies. Our main thing is always in the development field. A lot in web design, web development as well. But yeah, we do both companies work for other companies at this point, just to have enough money to make it to the next month. And if we sometimes before events take a month to do full-time development, so we can finish a demo and have it cleaned up for that event.
Yeah.
But that's the extent of the full-time development that we can do, because we have no financial support other than the work we do in our companies.
Yeah, in total we had like, I would say four months in like
4 full months.
in the last two years, because the 2 months before
Comic-Con?
no,
It's always before an
Before
or Kickstarter.
Kickstarter.
Don't spoil. Don't spoil.
When we are, oh sorry, when we are trying to achieve something, we take like a full month to
push the project. Yeah.
And to finish our milestones.
So I'm glad you asked that right now, because at this point, what we have right now is, like I said, the closest to our vision, as in the looks and the feels of the gameplay. And so right now, what we're doing is the other part of it, which is trying to find that financial support. So that is exactly the point where we are right now. We're not so much developing the game every day. We're actually developing that connection with ways to get the financial support to be able to do this full time. Because we know we can do it. We can make an amazing game. We've got a demo that I believe really proves that. And so with that, at this point, we really want to push the project forward to just be full time on it and finish it. And we have this goal to finish it within 8 months from now. So we just need
the money.
Yeah, we just need the money. Everyone's at that point.
Yeah, it's frustrating when you have your own idea, your baby, but you can put time on because you have stuffs to pay for.
I mean,
right?
You gotta pay, you gotta eat, and then you're always gonna be working on your baby. When you're already tired and maybe you're not getting as many hours in as you. It's not really about that. It's mostly some things are tiring to do in development. That's just a part of it. Not everything is just sunshine and really fun. We just push through it before events so we can get to the point where we can showcase something that's worthy of the whole idea.
So,
in other words, folks at home, throw money at them.
Yeah, exactly. So as far from the game itself, it will be. I played the beta access right now. By the way, guys, if you guys want to have access to the beta, you just need to join A Horde Too Many Discords, and you have all the info there to have the access.
same as the Itch.io link? Because I just posted that on the.
No, it's the Discord. Hold
I
on.
think I said
I can,
You could share the link.
yeah, I'll share the invite.
Okay.
If you still have the Kickstarter page, there's
Oh,
Wait, there's
Yeah, there's a link for
I do have.
I have. There we go.
Yep.
actually, if you
Link
just
to
go
that
to
Discord anyway.
HordeTooMany.com,
Yeah.
there's a big blue button right at the middle that says join our Discord.
Yep.
That's our main.
There you go.
But I'll still get the link. Can I share links in your Twitch?
Hold up. a minute.
We have to permit you.
I'll post it and you'll probably get it. And
There you go.
yeah,
There you
okay.
go.
So the website works. So if you just go through our website and join our Discord through there, as soon as you get into Discord, you're going to get a message from a bot telling you how to get into beta.
Yep.
Right now, the beta is open to anyone that joins the Discord. And yeah, you'll get a little link to download the game right now. And you can play it, you can give us your feedback. The game right now, yeah, report bugs, please do report bugs. We really need that.
Please.
If you're playing the game right now, you're getting to play.
Wait, hold on. No.
Did we?
Yeah. We lost them. No.
Okay, can you hear us? Can you hear us?
We can hear you.
Welcome
We
back.
can see you.
Okay.
Oh, there you go.
Okay, we're back. Okay, so like I was saying, if you play the game right now, you get the first chapter almost completely, and after the first chapter, you can actually play the game loop infinitely because it turns into a roguelike game. It's going to generate levels. It's going to generate characters that you can pick up and try out and try new compositions, new teams, new builds, and you can also. Meanwhile, develop your team with items and do crafting and cooking. So you can then go into a competitive game mode that we've got on right now, which is called the Gauntlet, which is actually just a wave survival kind of match. And you're gonna die for sure, but you're gonna get a high score, and so your high score is gonna be online and for everyone to see, and you can always grab and brag about being, I was top one in the beta of the game. So right now, there's actually a point to playing the demo, whereas before this, it was a 10-minute story demo, and you finish it and you'd be done with it, trash it, and go. But yeah, right now you can actually play it, and we actually enjoy playing it ourselves, and there's a little competition between us. with
I saw on Discord that I score that the other person did.
He was first place, but I was first place before the reset of the high scores.
Okay.
Different builds. But yeah, it's always we got the game to a point where we really want to play it as well, and that's also the goal of getting the game to be random enough that even a developer can enjoy playing it. Because if everything's set in stone, then you already know what's going to happen. You're just skipping through it. It's just not fun for yourself. So the goal of it is also to make a game that we ourselves would want to play.
Yeah. Okay. So.
Actually, yes, I was going to say, if you sometimes at Lisbon Games Week, you could find us at our booth playing our own game.
Yeah, so it would happen quite a lot actually. It's fun also because when we're getting into it with that competition and the high score, and after people have been trying the game, reaching a certain high score, and we get there and we make something so much higher, it gets people pumped to play again and try again and learn with what we're doing. We actually amassed some crowds around us looking at what we were doing. And
people cheering for you.
Yeah. Get something higher. Yeah, that's really fun. So, yeah.
Okay, so it's like arcade machine. You need the high score to get noticed. Yeah, nice. So, if you could tag your game, you have story, but you also have the roguelike component of a permadeath, right? Yeah. So it's an adventure roguelike game, right?
It is mainly, the way we define it is it's a post-apocalyptic side-scrolling RPG. That is the main point of the game. However, the game itself will have 13 chapters of story. The story is set in stone. What is not set in stone is your decisions and the kind of characters you're going to have and who you're going to find and who's going to die while you're playing. So no two games should be the same. So there's going to be replayability even on the story mode. Okay. But once you're done with the story, we didn't want the game to just be done and you just be moving on to the next thing. So there's actually quite a lot to do. Like I said, once you finish the story, you enter into the wasteland mode or the survival mode, which is the infinite roguelike mode. There's always a goal for you to work towards. The competitive mode, I've already talked about the gauntlet. And then there's also an extra, which is called Horde Tactics, which is actually a CCG that we have inside the game with a full lore and the full way the characters actually work in the RPG. It will work the same way in our card game. And the way you collect cards is by progressing through the game and playing through the game, finding new enemies, finding new weapons, finding new characters. So you're always working towards not just progression of your team, of the RPG. You're also working towards collecting the survivors, collecting the items, and collecting the cards. So there's a lot of collecting to do.
That's a cool idea, because I was playing and then you just drop the bomb off a card game. I was like, what?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
What is happening here? So yeah, it was a cool. I will not call Easter egg, but it was a cool side game inside of the game.
It is an extra. It is exactly that. It is an extra that you can work towards. Much like in the Witcher series, you have Gwent, which actually became its own thing now. But it was another way for us to make the game deeper, as in you do have a deeper kind of a progression to work towards, and it also attracts a different kind of player. It is meant to be a very casual and couch gamey game, but there's always that hardcore part of the game where you do have permadeath, you do have that roguelike thing where you if you lose your entire team and your entire camp, you do have to reboot and start over with someone that you actually have no connection with. And that's the other thing. Every single one of our characters has a different personality and has a set kind of ways to think, and they're gonna like some things that you do, and some are gonna hate the other things that you do, and you're gonna feed some, you're not gonna have enough food for everyone. The ones who are not gonna eat are gonna maybe rebel against you, maybe they'll take it easy, maybe they'll just go away. So there's a lot of different interaction between even the characters and their personalities, and also between the different factions in the game. So it's not just a zombie game. Right now, we're not even calling them zombies, by the way. We decided we'd be cool enough to call them something else. So the undead in our game are called hordelings, because they are a part of the horde. The other two factions are the mercenaries and the scrappers. Those are the factions already in the game. And the survivors. They're different. So the players themselves, the survivors, are a faction by itself. They are the most human of the humans. They still feel everything that a human does. The mercenaries and scrappers, they have their own kind of code, their own kind of ideas, their own kind of way to live through the apocalypse, or the post-apocalypse in this case. So yeah, there's a lot of not just collecting, but also interacting, and the way you play your game is going to shape what you're finding out in the wasteland.
Okay, so
And you can play the story 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, and it's going to be different every time, because, for example, as Luis said, we want to put the random thing in the game. So the first survivor that you find probably will be different of the second survivor that you will find the second time, and the items will be different. The map can be different. So these interactions can make you feel like you wanna play it again. You wanna try it again. It's like those games that have 3-4 different endings. You want to find out what is that difference?
What if I do this?
Yeah, I see.
Like, this game is amazing. To test this game, let me try another team of survivors.
That's one thing that really eats me up when I'm playing video games. If there's 2 ways to do something, I have to see what the first one is, but I also have to go back and see what the second one is.
Yeah,
so if a game has a quick save, I will always cheat, and I'll always pick both and see which one I like the most. But I also love it when games don't have the quick save, and your decision actually matters, which is the case that we're going with.
Well,
I think it really makes it a different. It also makes you feel a lot more connected to your characters if there's a real risk of
exactly. I really like that guy with the flamethrower. but then he died, and I was like,
You're screwed.
shit, no.
The item! No!
So right now in the story, in the demo right now, we do reboot, we do reload, so you can keep going with those characters. But yeah, in the final game, if you lose them, that's it. They're gone. You're not gonna
Goodbye.
meet them again. So that's a big part of.
Maybe you can meet them, but as Ordling.
Yeah. So we're one of the ideas that we're working on. It's not in the demo yet. It's not in the game yet. When you do lose a character, your way to retrieve the items would be to go back to the same map. You'd find that character is now a horde. So you have to kill them and get the items back. Obviously, they're not going to use the weapons properly. If they have an automatic rifle, they're going to smack you with it or try whatever horde
I
does.
do not want to be on that.
Yeah, they will have
No,
armor.
thank you.
It will be perfect to kill, but you'll be able to get your items back.
So, you can find that person, but it will be harder to kill.
Yeah, like it's not a boss, but it's just a tougher
Okay.
a tougher enemy to kill because if they did have armor, if you had no armor on them, then he's just gonna be helpless. If their weapons are not gonna make much of a difference, but it is kind of it's gonna be kind of a mini game, not a mini game. It's kind of you going back and you really like that character. Or you really hated it, and now you really just.
Or
don't
you
kill it.
had really good armor on
Or you
it.
had really good gear and you're just
That's
running
it.
at attack.
Okay,
Whatever
right.
your motives are, you kind of want to go there and do that and find
Okay.
them.
Want my flamethrower back.
Reduce the
Okay, Dax.
Yeah.
Talking about armor and weapons, will the equipment get destroyed over time? So, for instance, if you receive a lot of damage, it will get destroyed.
Durability.
Yeah, the durability. Thank you.
There's no deterioration of the gear itself. The kind of management that you do have to do is about the actual hunger and thirst of the characters. Right now in the demo, it's kind of everywhere. You're gonna have troubles with that, but in the final game, the real survival is not taking damage because healing items are going to be really rare, and managing the food and managing the thirst of the group. If you have 7 characters, that's really great for you, but you're not going to have enough food for all of them, so you're going to struggle with that. So you're going to want to stick to a low number of survivors. So yeah, there's no need for our items to deteriorate because you're also always going to be upgrading through tiers of items, and there's even some items that are going to not just affect the status, the passive status of your characters. It's also going to affect the actual way they shoot, the actual way they attack, their skills. You're actually going to get to customize how the character plays, other than their passives. Each character does have 3 traits, 3 passives that are random when you find them. You're going to be able to edit those as well as you progress through character levels. And you're also going to be able to customize the way your entire group or camp works, because there's going to be a skill tree for each and every survivor. It says progression on every survivor. There's also progression on your camps, because you will be having different camps. So there's like a skill tree on camps. Maybe this camp, everyone requires less food, or everyone is a little bit faster recovering, etc. And there's some unlocks that do more than just changing passives, but yeah, it's gonna be interesting to progress through.
Okay, so it's like some sort of perks that give to. Okay, that sounds awesome. That sounds awesome.
And it's something we haven't mentioned. So in the story itself, you will not just be managing one of the camps. You will be meeting characters from different camps from different areas of the post-apocalyptic wasteland.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to start out with the one that you see in this demo right now, with Anna and Pyro and those characters. But then you'll be finding out what happened somewhere else. So you're going to be developing different kinds of relationships with different camps and different characters. And there's quite an interesting decision to be made by the end of the game, which I'm not going to spoil.
I see. So, as for the survivors, there's up to 7 types of survivors. 7 or 8? Hold on.
There is more.
You're checking
right now.
The Kickstarter page, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you checking by the Kickstarter page right now?
Yeah.
Okay, so there's more than that in the demo right now. I think it is seven classes.
Mm-hmm.
21,
but right now in the demo, there's 21 different characters within those classes. So each class does play out differently according to the traits that you get on each character. And like I said, not only traits, but personality and Some of them can actually use higher tier weapons, legendary weapons that actually they're unique weapons. They actually do the changing of the skills and the way they attack.
Mhm.
One that right now is working the demo is the archer, which is
Yep.
changing the way he shoots according to the tier of weapon that you have on. But yeah, there's also more classes already lined up to
Mhm.
enter the game, so we can talk a little bit about each of the classes right now. Yeah, there will be
Yes, lumberjack,
really good-
for example, is
Yeah, it's not-
It's
the,
not in the.
it's in the Kickstarter page, but it's not in the
Mhm.
current.
Yeah, I was about to ask that because
Yeah,
the
no,
ones
it's not-
the ones that I found, it was the pistol. We started with Anna, the
Uh-huh.
archer, the minigunner, and the flamer. Oh, and the sniper. Did I?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So besides that, there's the bomber. See.
Oh, the bomber. Yeah, yeah, that one
I
as
didn't
well.
find that one.
Yeah.
The shotgun, yeah. It's that.
And
Seven.
that's 7 in the demo right now. Yeah. Outside of the demo, there's the lumberjack, which is the only truly melee class in the game, which is not in the demo right now. There's the rammer, which is kind of this scrap. It's a part of the scrapper faction, and he's got this big what's it called? Harpoon gun. He shoots a harpoon and reels the harpoon back, and it's really fun to use. And he's also called the rammer because his special ability is to just charge through the hordes, and he's actually
Okay.
immune while doing it, but he's also getting his whole team to move forward really fast while he's doing it. It's really fun to use. And then there's the we've got the scientist lined up with the electric kind of tinkered shotguns. Shock guns, not shotguns.
Clever. I
And
like
we
it.
also have the Wanderer lined up, which is kind of he's not a hobo, but he does attempt to kill the undead with a guitar. Okay, that's his main thing. You know, he's a musician. He loves the guitar. He loves smashing organs. With
So
it.
he loves the guitar, but it's his weapon. So that makes no sense.
This is weapon, yeah.
Is
He loves to
axe
play
should
it,
be
but
an
he also
axe.
loves to play. And then there's the one of the classes that is also on the mercenaries is the Houndmaster. Houndmaster actually does not have a weapon, but his weapon is a pet, which can be a dog or a bear or all sorts of. You always get a bear for a pet, right? It's completely normal nowadays. But yeah.
so that will be the Russian guy with the bear.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, that's really okay. Okay, I like
Yeah.
that.
I like it.
Okay, and then within
Right
each,
there.
typing it down right now. Within each of the factions, there's also some classes that you may or may not be able to play. Right now, one of them is the mercenary leader, which actually summons mercenaries to play with them. It's a minion class, so to say. But yeah, we have a lot of variation in those classes lined up. Most of them are done. Some of them we're still working. The reason lumberjack is not in demo right now is because we did do the whole visual and feedback upgrade right now, and melee takes a whole different kind of visual and sound feedback from you just slashing a hordeling. The way we were doing it in the demo before this, he would swing his axe and the hordeling would die, just falling backwards like he took a shot.
I'm having ideas now, guys.
Give us the ideas.
I'm having ideas like, what about this? They all have actions, right? They all have weapons. What if there was like I don't know, people that heal your whole team, people that summon the Orlings that die, but they will join your own team. You know, I don't know.
Necromancy.
Yeah, exactly.
Do it.
Right.
No, like he's a cowboy, but for undead, for the undead, right?
Exactly.
Like a wrangler.
horse too many.
A horse too many. Yeah.
There's a running joke in our team. Because
Okay.
someone misspelled the name of our game.
That was the best way to misspell the game that we ever got was a horse too many, and we just keep thinking, how do we integrate this into the game? How do we make a
That's
horse
how-
too many real? But yeah,
A cowboy hat. It's done.
I'll do it.
You have our Discord
Yeah.
channel. We have a channel just for suggestions.
Yeah, exactly.
You can
Okay.
go there and just write.
Okay, I will do it. I will do it for sure.
We really appreciate it.
So we talked about the survivors. Let's talk a little bit about the zombies or the hordlings itself. So I found the boomer, the normal ones, the ones that how to say they didn't the crawlers, and the one that spit those balls, right? So
Yes.
I found 4 types of zombies. How many types of zombies are you guys planning to incorporate on the game?
Now, the one that's done that's not in the demo is the hulking. So they're the tanks, so to speak. They're really big, really hard to kill. And we also have the bosses and mini bosses. So we have sections of the story where you will have to fight a boss, so to speak. So we have a construction worker hordling. We have the
Yes.
swamp hordling, the magician,
Magician, the military one.
the military one, yeah.
And
There's another one.
No,
doctor?
the doctor,
Yeah.
yeah, that's for the hospital. And within each of those that you found, there's also variations. So, for example, there's armored variations
Yeah.
of the boomer, who actually shoots scrap metal when they blow up as well. There's armored versions of every single one of them.
harder to kill.
Hard to kill, yeah. And there are other zombie classes lined up to I'm calling them zombies now. Other hardling classes to join the game. We've already got a few more, but also the other factions do have classes themselves. So
Okay.
there's always an archetype of the default ones or the easy to kill ones, the ones that you're going to find a lot. There's the long range ones, the tank ones, the fast ones, and the tank ones. Have I said the tank
Yes.
ones?
Tank
Mhm.
first,
Yeah.
tank
Fast, the full
and
Yeah, real
then
damage.
the explosive.
explosive ones. Yeah. So yeah, the archetypes are always going to be within those kind of themes. They just execute differently.
Okay. That sounds awesome. There's really a lot of gameplay hours to put into. So I'm just scrolling down on your Kickstarter page, and
that's
I
the magician.
this one. Okay. I was about to ask that. Okay. So it's like the boss
Yes.
the boss dude that you're talking about. Okay.
Yes, that was the boss fight in the ending of our demo for Kickstarter.
Okay.
So the game does look a lot different now, but the way the bosses play, well, I wouldn't say it's going to be similar to that because there's a lot of different gameplay mechanics now. But yeah, each of the bosses will have 3 to 5 abilities, and the real challenge is to make a boss fight in a side-scroller game that has very little verticality other than you actually aiming up and down. But we're finding very different ways to pull it off. The way we did it there in that demo before is something that is no longer viable because we did have a tower defense component to the game before that we had to scrap now. So you'd be able to pick up your survivors, put them up in towers and high spots, and they would act by themselves. But it's just we when we did the graphical update, we also did a lot of cutting down on things that were not essential to the gameplay loop and to the fun that you could have with the game. It's not like we have a little amount of features already. It's already a big project. But yeah, the biggest challenge in the game, the biggest challenge to development, other than the financial part, is the boss fights, pretty much, because everything else is already just planned out.
Okay, to work with the mechanics of the boss. Yeah, now that you mentioned that, it's kind of hard to find a new mechanic for a boss fight. And as I was scrolling down here on your Kickstarter, I see that you guys created actually a real card game.
I should have brought it.
Yes, we actually had the physical game in Lisbon Games Week. So
There's a physical game too.
the CCG that I was telling you about is not only
Okay.
digital in the game. We actually made a little box with the actual cards that we had printed out. We had a fully playable prototype. And
I have a super prototype
she's
version.
got the first prototype, which was just
Very
printed out on like normal paper and cut out
Yes.
with scissors.
Like
Yeah.
the
So
first
that's
or second prototype.
those are the actual cards of the game, and the way the game plays physically is the same that it plays digitally. So if
Okay.
you know how to play one, you know how to play the other.
Okay. So
It's amazing. The first prototype of Horde Tactics,
wow.
it looks so good.
Let me just.
Can you even? Wow! Look at those cards. Look at that artwork.
okay.
Looks
Yes,
great.
it doesn't
Looks
even
really good.
have the final art.
So are you
Yeah.
actually planning to release some of these card games or not
The
really?
physical. It's always been. It was made as a sort of collector's edition kind of item.
Okay.
It also worked that way on Kickstarter. There was a way for you to get it. It was one of the higher tiers. But yeah, right now you can play it digitally in the game, but the physical thing is never going to be its own thing. At least not right now. You know,
Okay.
we have a lot of steps to take before that. But yeah, it's just
We've spent many hours playing it. But
we have spent many hours playing it for game dev purposes.
Of course. Of course.
Specifically for game dev purposes.
For science.
Yes.
to test it. To test
So, no chance of custom cards then?
Custom cards as in you make your own card, or custom cards as in
I'm just asking a question from the chat.
Yeah. Full Metal is
Oh.
asking. Yeah.
Okay,
Exactly.
so in the
Is there a
game,
chance of custom
inside the
cards?
digital game, there's no way of customizing cards. No, the way they work is they mimic perfectly
Yep.
what happens in the game. So, for example, if you do have a survivor, if you picked up one of the, like, for example, Pyro, the flamethrower class, you do get to play it as a survivor inside Horde Tactics,
Mhm.
and it will have stats exactly like the character has in the RPG. But it's also going to give you a skill card, which is going to act also like the way it works in the RPG. So the flamethrower does have a Molotov that does AoE damage.
Mhm.
It's also going to work that way in the card game. So it's the best way we could make our RPG side-scroll digital game into a board game. That was
Okay.
the whole goal of it.
So, Full Metal. Right now, there's the Kickstarter project link, but it's not available right now. Are you guys planning to launch another Kickstarter or Indiegogo, or not really?
Any crowdfunding
That's-
plans?
That's a tough question to answer. We don't have a specific date. We don't have a specific plan for Kickstarter or Indiegogo right now. Like we said, we tried it before. We understood why it didn't work. We just never had the reach
Mhm.
whatsoever to make it work. But also the way the scope of the game has evolved right now is just way more demanding than where the game was at the point that we did that Kickstarter.
Mhm.
So while the Kickstarter right now is a great page to look out information for
Yep.
what the game was and how it was working and what the full features of the game are, it's completely out of date at this point, and we do need to work on getting that on our website. But the best way to find that out is really just to play the demo. So please do join our Discord. Please do join the beta, so to speak, of the game and
Yep.
try out the demo, because it is a lot better. If you like what you see on our Kickstarter page, you're gonna like the demo a lot more right now.
It's what we have been actually understanding from the people that we are having here on the podcast. It's doing a project on Kickstarter. It equals the same time that you put into actually making the game. It's really hard because there's a lot of
Yeah.
emails to send.
Oh, yeah. During Kickstarter, it was a full time
Sounds like it.
job. So, and even then, our reach.
Nightmare.
So we tried to do it all by ourselves, as in every single person that we get is through direct contact, so emails and messaging people and trying to get streamers and YouTubers to get on board. And it's just, it was very hard. It was very time consuming,
Mhm.
and we got the idea of how much we could do by ourselves and how much we just could not.
Yep.
And yeah, we now know how much it takes to get a successful Kickstarter going, because you do need a community behind it, and
That's why we need you guys.
yeah. Thank you so much for this,
Absolutely.
for inviting us to do.
No,
That's
it's
it.
okay. It's okay. It's completely okay. We are here to give you guys a word to show your own projects. So yeah, that's why we are here. Well, at least we try. Yeah, but yeah.
We really appreciate
It's
it.
good.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a tough job creating a Kickstarter or an Indiegogo. Right now, I don't know if you guys know Caminosa and Serial Games.
Yeah.
So
Tomorrow.
yeah,
2 days.
yeah, they are working pretty hard on that subject, and yeah, it's pretty hard, man. It's you have to have a community behind all the things, so it's a lot of time consuming. So I really feel like this to do a Kickstarter project. You really have to have a community behind. You have to have a complete idea what you want for the game, and then just start and have someone working that as a full time.
It needs to be everyone that has a pair of hands. It really does. And not just that. I would say you either have a huge community already waiting for your Kickstarter, or you're gonna need to at least have as much financial support as you're asking for in Kickstarter for it to be successful. Because you do need to invest not just your time. Your time is not enough, especially for small teams like we are right now. Maybe if you were a 15-man team, then yeah, you can. If everyone's writing emails, I don't know. It's small in the industry. Yeah. It does take a certain amount of financial freedom to pull off a Kickstarter if you do not have enough community behind you, and that was our case. We barely had any community. Well, it was good for that reason. That was the only way we could start growing our still very small community. But at least now we do have people that regularly check in on updates and who speak with us and who give us feedback and ideas and who regularly test our new game builds. And that's something that we really needed to get started, and that was the best thing we got out of Kickstarter. Other than the knowledge of how it works and how it was going to be and the whole experience behind it. And also the way it kicked our butts into actually making the demo something very close to the final idea. Because after the Kickstarter, that's when we realized, okay, so we don't have enough community, we don't have enough finance freedom to get this out there. We really need to showcase the game at what is going to be in the end. So it needs to be the full eye candy. It needs to be the full game loop. It needs to be fun from the get-go, not just look at this. This has potential. It needs more than that. It needs to be, the demo itself needs to be a game, which it is right now, and we're really proud of that. It just took us a lot of time and effort and money and. Yeah, but it's none of it we regret ever, and yeah, it's just the way is forward for us because this project has a lot of room to grow.
And there's space in that mix of stuffs to do to actually play games other than just to try your own game.
there's
even energy for that.
There has to be okay. So that is one thing. So most of the time, when you're just grinding through the work. You're not gonna have, at least for me, I don't always have the energy to play other games, but I actually try to play as many games as possible within the range of games that I enjoy while I'm developing, because that is simply the greatest way for you to analyze what other people are doing right and getting ideas, and it's inspiring to see what other people have achieved and how they have achieved it. And so right now, for example, one weird thing that I'm doing right now with games is while I'm playing them, I'm overanalyzing it so much. That the artist really took it really far this over here. And look, how did they do this? How do they make this run so well? And so one thing that happens to me is sometimes I'm playing a game and I just completely stop. And a lot of games these days have this screenshot or photo feature. So most of the time I'm playing, I'm just taking photos of the game.
Oh man,
he really likes it.
The artist really took its time here.
Man, so there's two things that I want to talk about that. First, I really like I really like to take screenshots of games, and I spend most of my time on Spider-Man for
Yeah.
PlayStation 4 taking pictures. Okay,
Yeah.
so the second one,
Yes.
I like to take pictures myself in real life. So every time that I see something and I start to analyze, well, I could take a picture like this, but then I don't have the camera with me. But I do that on my head. It's weird. I know.
Yeah.
It's weird. Um,
I catalog entire adventures on whatever game lets me do it. Yeah.
yeah.
And then I always like to so Carolina, the artist in our game, I always like to make like a compilation of them and to show them to her, and she's like, "What is this? What you're doing in your free time?" I'm like, "Yes, isn't it amazing?"
Yeah, because when we take the step to be a developer, I guess we start looking to the games in a different way.
Yeah.
We start trying to find that specific word or that specific feature. I'm talking like I'm seeing the games right now because
Yeah.
as a programmer, I'm always trying to find something that it's not working and why. Which is a designer is trying to take photos. So yeah, it's like two different ways to look at the game. But yeah, when we start developing games, basically we have to look to the game in a different way because they have something to show us, not only the story mode or the
Yeah. Yeah.
storyline, all the ways that all those. For example, in the last week I bought the new game from Pokemon, and the ways that they build the scenario, it's like it's awesome because you can it's like what Zelda does too. You can look to a you can just stay in a field looking to a mountain, and that doesn't have anything to the game, but it's there, and it's
Yeah.
there because with a reason. And we as the developers, I think we start looking at those things in a different way that
I-
we didn't look like that when we
You
were
say that,
just
but when I first played GTA San Andreas, my full-time job was taking photographies when we find the first camera, and I was like, oh, let me take pictures of the sunset.
Yeah.
Like so
Hey,
artsy.
but it's cool. Okay.
Yeah, of course. I did the same with Spider-Man and with so yeah, it's
Yeah.
Uncharted.
It's yeah.
Wait, I'm saying something wrong. No, yeah, Uncharted. The Uncharted 4 has that option to take pictures.
Yeah.
I also think the new hobby of Gonzalo's is finding bugs and then enjoying to know what the developer did wrong. He was like, oh, we forgot to put this in the canvas or something like that. Gonzalo
It's
like
like-
rejoices that he knows more
It's not just us.
about
Yeah, it's like that I would.
Or when-
it's a way
Yeah.
to learn. I guess.
or when you know a
Yeah.
developer or a studio used the same engine as you. For example, Unity, and you're like over analyzing a game to see how did they do this.
Yeah, yeah, I see. I see. So, one last question. Where did you guys took the inspiration to do the game itself? From series, from other games, from I don't know. I see.
Why make this kind of game and not something else?
I see a couple of resemblance with the Walking Dead. Well,
Yeah, I mean it was going to be hard to dodge that.
that.
But
Thanks.
not just that. I would actually say the main inspiration for the game is the fact that I'm a big Fallout fan of the
Mhm.
whole series, not just ever since it became a third person a first-person RPG. I'm actually playing through Fallout 1 right now again because the first time I played it was when I was a child. I didn't understand what I was doing.
And now you are looking the game.
Now I'm actually exploring the game. I fully believe Fallout 1 was not made to be played by young people at all. I honestly think it was made to be played by 30 and over because it's very complex where it doesn't be, but it's very enjoyable as well for me at least. It wasn't back in the day. I looked at it and I was like, "It's not fun. I'm getting out of here." Right now, yeah, why not play that? Yeah, it's not just Fallout. I'm a big fan of post-apocalyptic not fan, but just fiction in general. So yeah, Fallout, The Walking Dead, even the ancient zombie movies. I've always enjoyed them. But it also comes from a point where me and Carolina at the time, what we were doing before this was games for children and educational kind of digital tools. So it was a lot of cute stuff, a lot of I don't know how to describe it, but there was a point in my life where I looked at Carolina and I said, "You need to make a zombie game right now because I enjoy doing stuff."
Well, actually, the zombies look cute.
Making cute things.
But I really want to kill zombies and make the game killing zombies.
Our zombies are cute. So.
They are. And
they
also,
are.
I really wanted to, like I said, I'm really a big fan of post-apocalyptic everything, and I really wanted to play a game like the game I'm making right now. The closest to it was that I ever found was Fallout Shelter and just the general Fallout series, because it's the only post-apocalyptic that really not only sinks you into that universe, but it can still retain some of the silliness and humor that I really enjoy in this games.
Yeah.
Everything's gone to hell, everyone's dying, everything's horrible, and yet everyone's cracking jokes about it. Like, it's amazing. It's an amazing scenario for me. So yeah, I really wanted to make a game that I wanted to play, and I guess I have no best excuse other than that. But yeah, I'm proud of the way we've built the game so far. And there's always there's a bad side to how long it's been in development right now. There's also a really great side, which is just we were able to absorb all the feedback and all the playthroughs that people did, all the videos that people did, and how people enjoyed it, how people didn't like it, and so it's just grown with as little community behind it as it's had, and as little attention as it's had so far. It's just grown and absorbed all that feedback, actual feedback, because there's little of it, so we can actually pay more attention to it. So yeah, right now the project has benefited hugely from its development time. But yeah, that was the reason behind making it. Not only frustration out of the things that we were building, which again I really enjoyed, but it was just the time to do it, and also the fact that I really enjoyed post-apocalyptic fiction. I really wanted to make a game.
I think the best way to get the feedback from people, it's actually have a demo version. So that's I mean I feel like it's the best way, so people can enjoy the game and can put up their own ideas. So yeah, good job on that, guys.
Definitely.
GG's. By the way, one last question, and Full Metal is asking, will a version of VR compatible, yeah, in the future? So in other words, are you guys planning to release the game only on Steam or on other platforms?
No. So the game will be released primarily on PC, and it doesn't mean just Steam. But we will also be working on the port for consoles, so that's PlayStation, Xbox, and the Switch. It'll be really interesting on the Switch. We have dabbled in a mobile not version, but a mobile extra for the game, and it does work really well. But it's not our focus right now.
Okay.
And it's outdated.
And it is heavily outdated right now. But yeah,
early 2018.
We already had it in 2017. So when we were in Berlin, we showcased both. We showcased PC version and the mobile version, which was also interesting.
Okay.
But yeah, we gauged the the attention that each one of those got, and so yeah, we realized, okay, like we thought, it would work on mobile. It's just not the focus of the game. It cannot be.
Okay.
It's not a mobile game.
Okay. So, any news that you guys can give in first hand here? Hey, no.
Any news to give you first hand? Well, everything's been first hand. No one else is talking to
No,
us.
but
We're-
anything new that people don't know on
Yeah.
your community?
Hot off the press new.
The big news has been the whole having this finalized demo version for people to try it right now.
Mhm.
We don't have any big news yet, but we are working on it. We expect some big news to at least reach us within this or next week about the whole financing part. But
Okay.
we'll see how it goes. We're working on it.
Okay, so we want to be the first ones to receive that. Okay.
Okay.
We'll let you know.
Okay, guys. I think it's done. We covered pretty much everything that we had scheduled for today. Once again, thank you so much for joining on our podcast. Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thank you, guys. You guys are awesome.
Let's do it again.
Let's do it again. Let's go. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Guys, the podcast will be available for YouTube, Spotify, and right now it will be available on iTunes as well. We figured a way out. So
Just made iTunes, by the way.
yeah, there you go. Schmuckman, once again, thank you so much for joining this mess. No, actually, this mess will be another side project. It's still on the go. But yeah, with that said, guys, thank you so much. Stay awesome, and we'll see you on Twitter, on Discord. Please join us as well. Our community has been growing, and on
And go
Discord.
go pester them all on Twitter. Horde Too Many for them. ExileCast for him.
And Schmuckman or Matt for Matt. Okay, guys, stay awesome. Bye bye.
Guys. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much. Bye.